The NFL has no answer to what the Minnesota Vikings are doing. What's up, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, I'm going to be explaining to you guys why the Minnesota Vikings are true Super Bowl contenders. And it gets me right into this. My bold take. I think the Minnesota Vikings will be the number one seed in the NFC. They're going to run the table, beat the Seahawks, Packers, and Lions, and they will have 2 home playoff games, and they will win both of those, and I will see you guys in New Orleans. But hey, before we dive into it, and before I go over 5 reasons why the Minnesota Vikings are truly Super Bowl contenders and why the NFL has no answer for what's going on in Minnesota, we are in a sub battle right now versus our Lions Talk channel. They got over 80,000 subs, and I appreciate every one of you guys who have hit that sub button so far this season. If you guys haven't already, I don't know what you're doing. Help us out. Help us beat Lions Talk and subscribers. Hit that sub button, everybody. I would really appreciate it. All right, let's dive into it. Are the Vikings a Super Bowl team? Let's break it down. So, number one, if the Vikes are going to be a Super Bowl team, it starts off with Sam Darnold and the playoff run that he is about to go on. And I still feel like the Minnesota Vikings, and specifically Darnold, people aren't treating him like he should be treated. Now, I do want to highlight one play against the Chicago Bears. So, this play sets up. Darnold's just in the pocket. He had Jefferson split out wide. And look at this wide open kind of just big blank space of grass in the middle of the football field. Well, the Vikings have one receiver, being Justin Jefferson, running from left to right. And Sam Darnold, there's only one place on the whole field you can put this football, and it is right before the left hash. And we get to the next one, Sam Darnold put this ball on a frickin' line. This was one of his best throws of the season. He has been great at attacking over the middle of the field. He's got a big-time arm. He's a big dude. He's gotten better in the pocket. Yes, he still holds on to the football a little too long, but this was an absolute seed, and it ended up being Jefferson down at the 1-yard line. Aaron Jones ended up running it in. I just think people don't realize that, I really do believe Sam Darnold is about to go on a Joe Flacco-esque run, a Nick Foles-esque run, where before the year we just viewed those guys as just, any other quarterback. We didn't view them as special. But look at what Sam Darnold has done this season. Big-time throws, according to PFF, which also that throw I just showed you, PFF did not count that as a big-time throw, which I thought was ludicrous. So I think he should have 30 at this point, but he's second in the NFL. Average depth of target, pushing the ball down the field. He's 8th. Adjusting completion percentage still stands around 80%, and they're actually starting to use Darnold a little more in these tush pushes, a little more designed runs, which I'll tell you what, bold prediction here that I'm coming off the top. I think Kevin O'Connell is going to use a whole lot more just QB power, QB design runs for this playoff run. You got a big athletic quarterback, might as well put it on display. But number 2 for me, you got to have a defense. You got to have that backbone. You got to have something you can rely on. And this defense, it is the perfect Super Bowl defense because I think, for a multitude of reasons. Now, I'm going to show you guys this graphic. Now, the Vikings rank top 4 in all 5 of these categories. But I think to be a Super Bowl defense, you got to stop the run. Now, yes, they have taken a step back over the last couple of weeks, but once pace comes back, I don't think that'll be a problem. 2nd in the league. You obviously got to be a good scoring defense. 4th in the league. You got to be good on 3rd downs. Well, Vikings are 4th as well. Sacks, they're 4th. And you got to take the football away. They're 3rd in the NFL. And if the Vikings could somehow get home field advantage, this defense will be the reason you go on a Super Bowl run. And that's also why I think this is coming. Because if the Vikings go on the road and they have to travel, I truly do believe if they make the Super Bowl, it will be because of the right arm of Sam Darnold. But if they get 2 home playoff games, and shout out to all the Vikings fans that are able to go to these games and make that one of the toughest environments to play in the entire NFL, good luck to Jalen Hurts. Good luck to Jared Goff. If you think you're going to come into U.S. Bank Stadium, do what you've been doing all year, you got another thing coming for you. So the Vikings defense, if you get home field advantage, I could see them putting on a show for 2 home playoff games. And it also gets me this. I hate this notion like there's a powerhouse in the NFC. Like everybody's talking about the Eagles. Everybody's talking about the Packers. But in my opinion, the NFC is wide open. And yeah, you got sneaky teams. Like honestly, I think the NFC as a whole is a very, very strong conference this season. Like I like the Buccaneers. I like the Los Angeles Rams. If the Vikings do end up getting the 5 or 6 seed, those would be tough matchups in the wild card round. But you still got the Packers, you still got the Eagles, and you still got the Detroit Lions. Let's start off with the Packers here real quick. it almost seems like people forget that the Vikings went into Lambeau and got up 28-0 on the Packers. And that game would have been a complete blowout if Jalen Nailor doesn't muff a punt. And I think people just still look at that game and they look at the final score and they're saying, oh man, the Vikings got up 28-0. Why was the score 31-29? Was it a little bit of a fugazi? Was it a little fake? I don't think it was. The Vikings are a better football team than the team that's over there in Green Bay. I think you have a better quarterback. I think you have a better head coach. I for sure think you have a better defense. And you guys might call me crazy for saying Sam Darnold's better than Jordan Love and Kevin O'Connell's better than Matt LaFleur. That's my opinion, and I can't wait for those two to prove me right in the playoffs, but also the Eagles here. So Philadelphia is a great team. I think they're the biggest test to the Vikings in the NFC, no doubt about it. However, what's their MO? It's the run game. And if they have to come to US Bank Stadium and the Vikings, if they could somehow blitz them, get up 10-0, I would love to see Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts try to throw the ball on this defense. This will be a tough game. This is the team I fear the most. And even if we have to go to Philly in the divisional, I'm going to be riding with the Minnesota Vikings. I am a big believer that the Vikings, out of any team in the NFC, they match up the best with the Eagles. I think just their defense, they play both sides, and the Eagles have a good defense too. I would just trust, Kevin O'Connell cooking that Vic Fangio defense more than I would trust Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts cooking that Brian Flores defense. And also the Lions. The Lions are just a better version of the Buccaneers at this point, in my opinion. And this is nothing like, listen, if the Lions were fully healthy, they would be for sure probably my Super Bowl pick. Like, if I'm being honest, even as a Vikings fan, like if they had Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, Carlton Davis, all those guys, I'm probably choosing the Lions to make the Super Bowl. But I think as it stands right now, they can't guard the Vikings on the outside. They can't guard Jefferson. They can't guard Addison. I think if they have to go to Detroit, or even if the Lions come to US Bank Stadium, I still think in that situation, then that would be a case where the Vikings offense would need to go win a playoff game at home. But I'm not scared of the Lions. But I'll ask you guys this. What team scares you the most in the NFC? For me, it's a team over there in Philadelphia. It's got to be the Eagles. But you guys let me know. If you disagree, let me know what team scares you the most in the NFC. Now, we'll get to some more reasons why the Vikings are a Super Bowl team here in a second. But first, I got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Now, if you guys download the PrizePicks app today, use code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you create your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you create your first $5 lineup. Now, what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Now, if you guys want to increase your viewing experience for a Vikings game, Timberwolves game, Wild game, PrizePicks is the best way to do so because even if the game's a blowout, you can still follow your PrizePicks lineup all game long. So download the app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you put your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you create your first $5 lineup. Massive shout out to them. PrizePicks. Run your game. Number 4, weapons galore is what I'm going to call it because I think the Vikings, if you look at the whole NFL, in my opinion, they have the best weapons, even over the guys in Philly. Because I'm riding with these three. And I'm mainly, you know what? Tex, this is on me. Producer Tex, producing the show, doing a great job. I shouldn't have put weapons galore. I should have just put 18. Because I think Justin Jefferson, one, I think he is a top 5 player in the National Football League. And I'm willing to say this right now. Tex, if you want to, get me up here. I want everybody to look me in my eyes while I'm saying this. I think Justin Jefferson will go down as the greatest wide receiver to ever play the game we are watching. I think he is that special out there on the football field. He's got the most yards in the first 5 seasons. We all know what he's about. And I think this playoff run, it will be because of him. It will be because of what 18 does out there on the football field, creating open looks for his teammates. But even when he is double teamed, or if you dare to leave him one-on-one, he will burn you over and over again. And that drop he had against the Chicago Bears was one of the greatest things that could have happened to this football team. Because what do you think 18's doing? Oh, he's hitting that jugs machine every day after practice. He's making sure he's not going to drop one of those ever again, especially in a playoff game. I'm telling you right now, in 15 years when we're looking back on it, and that man has delivered a Super Bowl as a wide receiver to the Minnesota Vikings, we'll be calling him the greatest of all time. And when I'm just talking about the Vikes, I think they're the new San Francisco 49ers, where you have a great head coach, Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell. You got a great tight end, George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson. You got great weapons, Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey. Well, now we got Addison, Jefferson, Aaron Jones. Now the question is, can the Vikings be as physical of a football team as the Niners are? I think they're starting to slowly, buy into that. But my last reason, and it's the best reason, nobody, and I mean nobody, believes in you. Even some Vikings fans, even some Vikings media members, if you ask them, do you think this team's going to the Super Bowl? No chance. And if you watch any talk show, whether it's Fox Sports, ESPN, PFF, the 33rd team, whatever it is, and they're making their Super Bowl picks, and I promise you this, even if the Vikings get the number 1 seed in the NFC, when you hear these Super Bowl predictions, nobody, I mean nobody, will pick the Vikings to represent the NFC down there in New Orleans. And that's how I like it. So I hope all you Vikings fans, I'll see you in NOLA. I will see you in New Orleans because I really do believe this is a Super Bowl team. I will stand on this. I am ready to be on freezing cold takes. I am ready to be exposed because I'm fully bought into this football team. I'm fully bought into Jefferson. I'm fully bought into Kevin O'Connell because I think both those guys at the respective positions or the respective coaching position will go down as some of the greatest of all time. Truly, truly do believe that. But if you guys want the Vikes to get the number 1 seed in the NFC, right there. Give me those skulls down below in the comments section. And also one last thing, I should have said this off the top. If you guys are a Vikings fan and you're just, expecting to be heartbroken, it's a loser mentality. This isn't 1998. This isn't 2009. This isn't 2015. This isn't 2017. This is 2024. This is your Kevin O'Connell Minnesota Vikings. This isn't your dad's Minnesota Vikings. This is our Minnesota Vikings. This is the Justin Jefferson Minnesota Vikings. I'll leave you guys with that. But also, if you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's my handle right there, @PatSieps. Give me a follow over there, and I'll give you guys a follow right back. Thank you guys so much for watching today's show. As always, SKOL Vikes.